Alrighty, everyone. Mesomat back here with another video for y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching this. If you guys will, as always, comment if you have any questions, concerns about your areas, like the video, and share this out to one person. Yesterday's video actually got, it was late posting, but yesterday's video actually got some pretty decent views, so I do appreciate y'all for watching these. As always, it helps me out, it helps you guys out, yeah, but other than that, we're going to go ahead and dive into what we're talking about today. Once again, we are talking about the tropics. We now have tropical storm watches in effect for parts of the southern isles of Hawaii. That's going to be that the island of Hilo there. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about Gilma kind of working its way towards Hawaii, but fizzling out into pretty much nothing by the time it gets there. But hurricane or tropical storm Hone right now expected to become a category 1 hurricane now is potentially going to be very, very close here to the southern end of Hawaii here. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about severe weather and the overall pattern that we're going to see as we end the month of August. So we'll go ahead and dive into what we're looking at on the screen here. And this is going to be a tropical storm Hone. I believe is how you pronounce this. I'm probably not pronouncing that very well, but that's what we're going to go with at this point. Tropical storm force winds at 45, maximum gust to 60. Pressure at 1002 millibars here. So this is a strengthening storm. One thing you do notice with this has got some lopsided convection. So the most thunderstorm activity is actually on the southeastern side. You can see they're trying to be some convection. This storm looks to be kind of struggling just a little bit here as far as northwesterly and northern convection here. So once we see more convection start to wrap around the center of circulation, we'll start to be more concerned about this storm intensifying. This is on track to start to intensify by tomorrow morning, maybe into a little bit more of a medium-sized tropical storm, and then potentially, we're going to watch this here, but float near Category 1 status, and it's now forecasted to become a hurricane before, or once it passes the worst part of Hawaii here. So the worst of this is going to be the south of Hawaii. We will see potentially some tropical storm force winds settle in as we go into Saturday night and Sunday here in the Hawaiian Islands. But then we're going to also talk about some rainfall that could fall anywhere from 5 to 8, maybe 8 or higher on the rainfall total side of things. But then this will start to work its way west and then weaken tremendously because the water temperatures are not supportive over here for tropical systems. You're going from 80-degree water temperatures to 70s and then to 60s. So that's a good thing as far as potential strengthening could go down the road for this, which is not going to happen. Now, we are also looking at not tropical storm, major hurricane Gilma over here. Let me pull this up here so you guys can see this. This is Hurricane Gilma, Category 3 hurricane. This was a 4 yesterday, now starting to weaken down to a 115 wind field here. This is now 962 millibars. So like I said, this is weakening. This is expected to become a Cat 2 later on this afternoon, and then continue to work its way west towards Hawaii. This will be a tropical depression before it even gets to Hawaii and then fizzle out and then get caught up with the jet stream and go north. So we're not going to expect this to go towards Hawaii at all, he says it now. Now, we are watching another area behind this, and I would not be surprised if this storm gets named today. The Eastern Pacific really getting active here, continuing to be active, and we'll probably see some more shortwave troughs that are tropical waves that come off here near the Mexico area, and these will work their way east as well. So continuing to watch the Eastern Pacific, and I actually had a question on my live stream last night on why the Pacific Ocean is so warm and why this is happening, and it's not supposed to be. This is supposed to be a El Nino to La Nina transition year. The Eastern Pacific is supposed to be quieter, but the water temperatures have just not been able to become cold. So we're continuing to see the tropics, continue to be warm and active, and that's going to continue as long as those waters support that. And now over here in the Atlantic Ocean, we're not expecting anything right now, but we are starting to keep our eyes over here in the major development region. As we go into the next week time frame, into the first 2 weeks of September, we're going to start to see these little troughs, or these little, not troughs, but tropical waves come off of Africa. And with the Saharan dust becoming less of a factor, I think we'll start to see potentially maybe some fish storms come out here, maybe some storms kind of track over here towards the East Coast, maybe even into the Caribbean Sea. So we're going to have to watch this, especially as we go into September and October. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, this isn't going the way it was supposed to go. Does that mean it's going to be quiet? Not necessarily, but we can hope for that. So this is something we're going to continue to update you guys on, but right now, no development expected within the next 7 to 10 days. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about what we're going to be seeing for today. And there is a huge marginal risk of severe weather today, and that is going to include Washington State. We've got parts of Oregon, Idaho, Montana. We've got parts of Wyoming, Colorado. We've got Utah in this as well. We've got Arizona in this. We've got Colorado. We've got Nebraska, Kansas, South Dakota, North Dakota. This is a level 1 risk out of 5. And then monsoon season continuing down here into parts of Arizona and western New Mexico. But all of this today is wind and hail. We're not expecting any type of tornado risk today. Although yesterday we actually had a confirmed tornado touchdown in a non-tornado risk zone along Interstate 70 over here near the Goodland and Colorado area. And that was a confirmed brief tornado here in basically along the interstate. So this is something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely for you guys. But other than that, you know, that's what we've got for today. So we'll talk about the timing of that here in just a quick moment. As far as that goes down the road. Now, we do also have the potential for day 2 tomorrow. This is going to produce some severe weather as well. Tomorrow's severe weather risk really more of a lower end day as of right now. We're going to be seeing a marginal risk for severe weather back into the Colorado area once again, Wyoming, South Dakota, into Nebraska, Kansas, and into New Mexico. This would be a wind and a hail threat once again. So this is something that we're going to watch. So this is just something, you know, to be mindful of tomorrow as you go into your Saturday forecast. It's as we go into Sunday, we now have a pretty big marginal and slight risk for severe weather on Sunday, and we probably will go live for this depending on what happens with the overall pattern for this on Sunday. But we have a marginal risk that goes from back into New Mexico all the way up here into the Dakotas, into most of Minnesota, and then a level 2 slight risk now. And this is what we've been talking about over the last couple of days, hinting at a potential more organized severe weather risk for your Sunday. So this is something that we're going to watch right now. The driving force for this is going to be wind and hail. Wouldn't rule out a couple tornadoes. I think we'll probably have like a 2% tornado risk, maybe a 5, depending on what happens, and then a wind and a hail threat with this. And then as we go into day 4, which is your Monday forecast, Monday looks more concerning. We have a slight risk for severe weather as of right now. All modes of severe weather will be possible. Eastern South Dakota, much of Minnesota. They did shift this north out of Iowa now, but I would expect there to be some type of marginal risk at some point. And I literally wouldn't rule out maybe an enhanced risk being issued on Monday. So we're going to have to watch this relatively closely. And that is part of one large storm that'll be coming through. The second one will be coming through on Wednesday and Thursday that will ride the northern plains again, and we can actually see some severe weather into parts of the Ohio Valley and Midwest as we go into Wednesday and Thursday of next week as well. So this is just kind of something to kind of keep an eye on. Right now, no SPC outlooks for day 4 through 8 as far as, you know, after Monday goes. So let's talk about the overall forecast for what we're going to see today. That's kind of the timeline of this. We're going to see mostly just scattered isolated storms across much of this area here. You can see by 5 o'clock this afternoon, you know, general isolated picture here. Wouldn't rule out a couple wind and hail warnings, but not really seeing that chance for a tornado, I don't think, today like we saw yesterday. There was just a little bit of spin in the atmosphere yesterday that caused a brief spin up tornado to happen. But other than that, you can see our strong low pressure system off the West Pacific over here. And this is what's pulling in all of these, all of this moisture, all of this convection. And so that's what we're going to be seeing along the trough injection here through tomorrow. So not expecting anything crazy today. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Let's go ahead and go look at the overall pattern for what we're going to be talking about. And once again, if you were looking on the screen here, you can still see that ridge taking over much of the central and southern plains. And this is actually going to work its way over here into the Midwest and Ohio Valley starting tomorrow, where we will see triple digit heat indexes for much of the southern plains, central plains, Ohio Valley, Midwest, Southeast. And it's going to be very, very hot over the next really 7 to 10 plus days. So be mindful of that. And then we might see another cool down behind a cold front that comes through late next week. We'll talk about that here in a second. That northeast low pressure system is finally going to be gone after today. But this is a big trough injection. This is something you typically see during the springtime that we're actually going to be seeing this week. And believe it or not, the good thing about this is so far to the north that this is going to keep any major severe weather from happening. If this low was placed down a little bit further south and this was going to be going over the Rockies, we'd have a probably severe weather outbreak, but that's not what's happening, which is some good news. But we're still going to have severe weather off of this. And as we go into Sunday's setup, you start to see that low pressure system kind of move up here towards Canada, and this is going to aid in a pretty decently mild and medium-sized southwesterly flow, and this could help aid in a damaging wind threat, hail threat, maybe an isolated tornado risk or two. But as we go into Monday, that low is right over top of the North Dakota, South Dakota area here in Canada, and you can actually see a little bit more shear direction. And what we mean by shear direction is that is wind direction change with height, and that causes tornado potential to be there. So I would expect more of a tornado day, maybe a 2 or 5% tornado risk on your Monday into Monday night. We'll definitely be live for Monday's event more than likely, so be mindful of that. And then this low pressure system will actually move across the UP Michigan area and into Tuesday and Wednesday into the Canada area. And then we get to watch what's going to be happening. And this is the big system that'll be coming through on Wednesday potentially. And this actually will be bringing in some pretty cold air, not like snow or any of that as of right now, but there actually might be some snow flurries that fly in Canada because of the cold air. But once this reaches into the United States, we'll see maybe 20 to some 15-degree temperature drops. So this is going to bring some cold air. This could also bring in a little bit of a disturbance that could bring some severe weather, potentially on Wednesday into Thursday for much of the Ohio Valley and Midwest, and we'll talk about that. But this is a pretty large storm. And like I said, mostly going to be for Canada here. This is going to be a positively tilted trough. So this would, you know, aid in more cool air behind this. This would aid in, you know, clearly some severe weather on the southeastern side of that. But this is going to work its way into UP Michigan and the Northern Plains as we go into late next week. And this is still about 8 to 9 days out. So we're going to continue to watch this and give you guys updates. But what you notice behind the system once it comes through, and that is going to be this very, very cold air plume kind of left behind. And we're going to have a cool down that potentially comes in after this. And then we might enter once again a pattern into September where we could start to see maybe another ridge build over in the West Pacific, which would cause temperatures to kind of warm up again. So we're going to keep an eye on that as far as the overall pattern for this goes for you guys. Now, one other thing I do want to show you guys, and that's going to be the, let me actually make sure I'm logged in here so I can show you guys that. Maybe. Okay, we're not going to do that. Sorry, guys. We'll show that on the next video. But anyways, one more thing I want to show you guys. We'll go back here to the European model run. And that is going to be what the precip will actually look like going forward here. And you can see showers and storms up here into the Rockies, into the Northern Plains. A couple little disturbances coming through the Ohio Valley on Sunday, maybe here, Missouri, Ohio Valley area, Midwest area here. And then as we go into parts of the weekend here and into early next week, we can see those disturbances coming through up here into the Northern Plains. So just something to be mindful of, watching out for severe weather. As if this becomes more organized, we'll definitely give you guys updates on that as far as the potential for that goes. And then I'm more concerned about what's going to happen next week with this major low pressure system that'll be coming through. Could see some showers and some severe weather behind this, and then some actually pretty decently cool air that comes in a lot behind this. So we'll keep you guys updated on the forecast for that. One more thing I will show you guys before we wrap this video up, and those are going to be those temperatures. You can see those temperatures staying in the triple digits. Any white, darker pinks, those are going to be your 90+ degree temperatures, and those do shift into the Ohio Valley and a pretty good chunk all the way up into Michigan. We'll see the threat for upper 80s, 90s, and potentially some triple digits down here into the Tennessee and Ohio Valley on late next week. So this is something to be mindful of if you're going to be outside this next couple of days. Have sunscreen, drink water, all that stuff. Be mindful of that. But as we go into the first week of September, things do start to cool down, quote unquote, back into the 80s and average temperatures again. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. I will have more in tomorrow's video. We might do a live stream tonight potentially. We'll just see as far as weather related goes. I will be on live at some point today, just in general, hanging out with you guys. So I hope to see y'all then. Be safe, be weather aware, and I'll see you guys later.